everyone. I hope this day is finding you well. I wanted to show you yet another plant in my garden that I use as a green manure, as a constant chop and drop. One that is a fantastic companion plant and a support plant in any permaculture setting. This plant is none other than Comfrey. This particular variety is Bocking 14. And it just has so many various uses in the garden. Primarily, it is a growing fertilizer. You can use it as fertilizer in quite a few different ways. The easiest method, and the one that I usually opt for, is just grabbing a handful of leaves and throwing them around other trees and plants that you want to fertilize. This particular plant has a very low fiber content, so the leaves break down super quick, which makes it an excellent chop and drop. You can also use the leaves and blend them up and add some water to it and make an instant liquid fertilizer. You can also use it as a compost starter, so you could either blend up the leaves once again or just use the leaves straight into your compost. And the high nutrient values inside of the leaves are just an excellent source for compost or for fertilizing. It has a range of anywhere between about 22 to 30, low 30s% protein value. Most sources say right around 25%, which for animal fodder is an excellent source of protein, one that you would very unlikely find elsewhere. So it is a low-cost animal fodder. It makes a great nutritional treat for chickens and for goats and any other animal that would take to green leaves. It also has some medicinal purposes. You can use it for an external poultice, for sprains, for scrapes, for bruises, for burns. It has all kinds of various topical qualities that you can use it for. And it also helps to break up hard soil. So the roots down below can be used to break up heavy clay, caliche, hard soil. And so it is an excellent plant that you can put into bad soil to help grow the soil. And it makes an excellent companion. As you can see, I've got it underneath a plum, and I've got an artichoke nearby. And so this particular plant, I can just grab and take some leaves and feed my plum. And it shades the base of the fruit tree so that the sun will not overwhelm the soil, which I have plenty of mulch, as you can see here, but if you are lacking mulch, it makes an excellent ground cover. And so this is just yet another way for gardeners to incorporate other plants into the system, plants that are very useful and beneficial. If you live anywhere in USDA growing zones 3 and up, you can grow this as a perennial. So it has a wide range of growing zones that it can survive and strive in. And it is a plant that is easily propagated. You can do a rooting division from it. You can dig up half the plant and divide the roots up, and if you have roots from 2 inches up, they will take root and grow new plants. So a plant of this size, which it's about 3 feet by 2 feet, can turn into 50 plants very easily. And I wanted to show that this morning. I will be taking up half the plant and dividing out the roots, and I'll just show you how easily it is that it can be propagated and put out into other areas of the garden. I have Comfrey under quite a few of my fruit trees just as a ground cover and just as a quick fertilizer. And this next upcoming year, I just want to propagate it out even more, incorporate it into the chicken run by putting some chicken wire around it to protect it, until it becomes situated, and just try to incorporate it in far more areas of the garden than it currently is. So this is a excellent resource to have. Yet just one more growing fertilizer, green manure, dynamic accumulator that I failed to mention on yesterday's Mexican sunflower video, but it is one that is right there at the top of the list for a plant that I'll take from and use quite often. So I'm gonna cut out here. I'll get situated with the tripod and I'll show you how I dig up half this plant and divide out the roots. I'll be right back. Okay, YouTube, I'm back with you here, and I've got you on the tripod. As you can see, I've got the Comfrey in sight, and so what I think I want to do is I want to take out this half of the Comfrey. So I've already more or less scored the outer perimeter for the outer roots, and so at this point in time what I want to do is just try to find the center of the plant itself, and we'll just kind of divide it like a hairline. Move all the leaves that go to that side over to that side, and that's looking pretty good. Okay, get this guy over here. I was gonna go in and take it just a little inside of that, but as you can see, this is gonna be my target area here, and so I'll just go ahead and start making my incision. When I go dig down like that, I'm just going to slightly push it backwards to try to separate it. And there it is. I think I'm pretty much fully divided at this point. Okay, and I'm just going to go back on the outer edges once again, and I'm just going to lift up on it. Okay, I should be free. So let's see what we have here. Oh boy, it's heavy. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to try to take off any of this excess soil. I'm going to have to come back through here a little bit later and just maybe add some compost to this hole, because I will be taking some of the roots. And so I'll just want to fill it in and add some nice compost and some extra mulch just to fill this section in so it can regrow back. And you can do this once a year. These plants grow very quickly. I usually do this every year on 1 or 2 plants and just try to divide it out. So as you can see, I've got a nice crown here, and then I've got another large crown here which I can divide out, but also I've got all kinds of little root ends here that I can divide into smaller areas. So I'm actually going to have to go through here and try to find some of these if I want to, otherwise they will just grow back as is. That's a little small for me to take from. I'm looking for something about pencil diameter ideally. Okay, well, I'm not seeing a whole lot here unless I'm missing them in this stack. Oh, here's another piece here I can take. Okay, well, we will call that. I'll just put some of this back. It wasn't as lucrative of a score as what I was hoping for, but that is not too big of a problem. Oh, here's another little section here. It's actually a nice little small crown with the root. So there's another. So I've got 4 here. Let me put these. And let's see what else we have. This section here, I could probably divide into 3 or 4 pieces. Maybe even more if I was very meticulous about it. Well, here's one right here that's just broken. I don't know if you can see that, but there's a plant. And so I'll cut these leaves down considerably as well, just to encourage more root development. But I'll try to get 3 or 4 out of this. I've got 5 there, so that'd be 9. Then I've got this large piece here, and I may be able to divide this in half. It's got a couple, if you can see, I've got 1 here, I could pull 1 here, and then this whole big root mass itself, I could probably make 2 or 3. So I could probably make 4 or 5 out of this. I'm sure there's quite a few here in the soil that I've just missed, but that's fine. I do want it to just grow back as well. The thing with comfrey is if you disturb the soil and you leave pieces of the root in the soil, it will grow back. And so you know, just make sure that where you're growing it is a place that you do want to have it propagated. But as you can see, it's not very difficult to get out of the ground. So you just have to, if you do want to eradicate it from a certain area, you do just want to make sure you get all the pieces out of the ground. So I think I've got a good score here. I've got about, I can make about, I don't know, 15 or so plants out of half of this. So I will take those back to my little plant station and start cutting them up. And then I'll go ahead and show you the finished product. Okay, I'm over here at my plant station. I just divided out all the roots, and my calculation was right on the money. I have 15 new root divisions here, and so I'm going to start potting these guys up, and I will get them situated within these pots here, these little planters, multiple planters, with some of my really good sunshine soil mix. I'll top it off with a little bit of moringa mulch, and I'll put them into the greenhouse. So I'll show you the finished product here in just a few. Okay, my friends, I'm going to take you into my greenhouse here. I've got them all wrapped up. Just wanted to kind of show you the abundance that you can make. I'm just doing a little bit here and there, a little bit every day. It's all cumulative. You can make abundance. These are all plants, more or less, that I've propagated. Just doing a little bit every day. You can make abundance in your home, on your property, and you'll have a never-ending stock of plants that you can pull from, or trade, or sell. And so I hear some gardeners say that gardening's expensive and that it costs $20 to make a tomato. Well, there may be some upfront costs associated with gardening to get the plants needed, to start getting all the supplies needed. But once you get set up, my friends, and if you have patience and endurance and perseverance, you can make abundance, and gardening can begin to pay you, which is where ultimately everybody wants to be. So, taking a quick look at all the many plants I have growing in here that I'm going to be overwintering. Let's take a look at these comfrey. Put them right down here into the alcove, so you can see the larger 4 crown roots I've got into the rear. I had to put those in larger pots just because the roots were much larger. This one here, I've got 3 of those 4 filled, and then I've got 2 more 4 squares, both filled. So I made 15 cuttings out of half that Comfrey plant. Not a bad score, not a bad haul. I was hoping for a little bit more. I could have probably eked out 2 or 3 more if I cut the roots in smaller pieces, but I was pretty generous. So I will keep you updated. I'll show you how they come along, how they grow up, and if you have any questions on anything I do here, whether it be with the Comfrey or plant propagation or anything permaculture wise, feel free to comment below. If you found anything in this video useful, I would sure appreciate a like and subscribe. And I hope you all have a very blessed day today. May the Lord shine upon you in all his glory. And I hope you have a great day once again. Take care. Bye-bye.